Yeah. I definitely am one to show up late with a cup of coffee, but at that point you're already late. So it's like, you know what? I'm already having a bad day. I was already late. I'm going to need coffee. That's my thought.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
Yes, that's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. I'm Andrew, and over there, as usual, we've got Brandon. Say hello, Brandon.
Hello, Brandon.
I had that. I set myself up for that one.
Normally, I say that's me. Yeah,
but instead, you went with the dad joke. Hi, board. I'm dad.
You said it.
I know. We got to keep it interesting, man. Anyway, you can find us online at namely90s.com, or we are on Twitter at namely90s with a 90s. We'd appreciate you finding us there and interacting, and of course, finding us on your favorite podcasting platform to give us a review. We'd appreciate it.
Or YouTube.
YouTube. Don't forget the YouTube channel, namely90s.com/YouTube, where you can watch us on video. Ooh, exciting. But it is really good because you get to watch clips of the stuff that we're talking about and watch me make a fool of myself, which is always fun.
Yep.
Plus your cool, ever-changing background, throwing back to something from the 90s versus my like cheap thing that I bought for people to do photo shoots at like baby showers and stuff.
I mean, to be fair, just need to paint yours green and I could do something with it. Yeah.
This is real wood. Vinyl over drywall. You know, it's good stuff. Anyway, I feel like we still need to talk about that holiday survey, don't we?
Oh, I mean, it's the week of Thanksgiving. Why bother?
Oh.
I'm kidding. Before we get started on today's episode, do us a favor and visit namely90s.com/holiday, where you'll find a link to a Google form because we want to know what your favorite or least favorite holiday episode of 90s television is for a special project we've got cooking up for December. You can submit now through the end of this week, like Thursday. Just call it Thursday.
Thursday.
Thank you for listening and for your submissions. We got a couple in since the last time we checked in with you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're recording this on November 5th because, as you've probably noticed by the fact that we're wearing the same stuff for several episodes in a row, we do this in a batch. But it kind of feels silly that this is coming out on the 23rd of November, and it's the 5th, and I'm watching the election coverage, and I just have no clue what the current state of affairs will be today, the 23rd of November.
I mean, to be fair, future Brandon, future Andrew also don't know who won the presidency either. So
that's true.
I'm sure it's highly contested at this point.
Realistically, we maybe still don't know, which is kind of interesting, but no. So anyway,
you have until the end of Thanksgiving to let us know.
Yes. So tell us what's going on over there.
It's 91 degrees here for some reason, but it's also been overcast all day. So it seems like it's cooler out, but it's really not. And I decided, on the last hot day of this year, why not just fry some chips for dinner tonight?
It cools the house down.
Yeah, and then I don't have my fan on for audio quality's sake while we're recording, and it's slightly warm in here.
Well, speaking of 91 degrees, we're also talking about 1991 November. I feel like we need to insert a cricket noise there.
I think just the audible silence is good enough for me.
Yeah.
Let's take you back to November 1991, unless Andrew has something else to say, like, his pretty shirt that he's wearing.
Oh, yeah. Repping the Seattle Kraken, of course, not the Krakens, mind you. And I do, I enjoy this. Very cozy. So I go out and get one yourself. They're great.
Who's the NHL's hat manufacturer? Because I don't see them on New Era.
This is from that Fanatics website, which is kind of like sort of licensed, but sort of not. It's pretty cheap, but it's what I can find, so that's what I'm wearing.
Fair enough. Let's take you back to the time before Seattle had after Seattle had an NHL team, but before they had a new one. November 1991. On November 6th, Russian President Boris Yeltsin. Why does it say Yeltsin? It's Yelkin, right?
Yeltsin.
That's what it says on my notes, but I'm pretty sure it's Yelkin, right?
It's Yeltsin.
Oh, it is Yeltsin?
Yeah.
Boris Yelkin.
Boris Yeltsin.
Everyone's named Boris. Outlaws the Communist Party. Also on November 6th, the last of the Kuwaiti oil fires are set. Sorry, the last of the Kuwaiti oil fires set by retreating Iraqi troops is put out. I'm assuming in Iraq.
Classy move.
Yes. Not by the Iraqis, by the Operation Desert Storm. Though.
Yeah, classy move.
Mm-hmm. On the 7th, Magic Johnson announces he has HIV and retires from the Los Angeles Lakers.
You sounded a little bit too excited about that.
I mean, it's a big moment in NBA and HIV/AIDS history. He's most high profile man.
That's true.
That's still alive.
That's true. Yep.
I guess you could argue Freddie Mercury would be the most high profile person that had AIDS.
Yeah, it doesn't meet the qualifier for still being alive, though, obviously. Yep. So there's
died in an episode that we mentioned, or that we mentioned him in an episode earlier where he died. November 12th. November 11th. British YouTuber and singer Emma Blackery is born. Emma Blackery.
Okay, sure.
Andrew has no idea who that is.
Sure.
Well, I believe I've been subscribed to her channel for a few years. She did a funny where she was pretended to be the different social media sites.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then no one likes Google, whatever it used to be called, Google Play. No. Circles, something like that. Anyway,
Google Plus. Yeah, Google, I don't know, whatever.
What's the Google Plus? November 12th, Full House celebrates its 100th episode, and Jesse and Becky's twins are born. Which really weirded me out when I read that statement, because it's like, the twins are born. I'm like, I thought Mary-Kate and Ashley Wilson were on that the entire time.
I'm confused.
Because I forgot there was an actual set of twins on the show. And on November 14th, Michael Jackson's Black or White music video debuts. Get this, on the Fox network. That's prime time, baby.
Haven't I referenced that song multiple times?
I mean, if you have, it doesn't matter if you're black or white.
That is true. No, thanks for saying that.
I thought you referenced We're the World.
No, it was the black or white one, because I was making some sort of bad joke or pun, as per usual.
That sounds correct. On November 15th, Shailene Woodley is born. She is an actress. She was in stuff.
Yeah, well, I remember her specifically in stuff, and I remember her being very in it.
I want to say Fault in Our Stars. And then she was in one of those Hunger Game type knockoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Divergent, I would say. That's what I would wager. On November 17th, the first televised condom commercial airs on Fox. Shocking that it was on the Fox network.
Also on Fox, yeah.
Yeah. November 18th, George Carlin replaces Ringo Starr as Mr. Conductor in Shining Time Station's second season, the American repackage of Thomas and Friends, the British Thomas the Tank Engine show.
Wow.
Yeah, PBS, baby. On the 21st, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past is released for the Super NES, as well as at some point in the month, but not documented well, Metroid 2: Return of Samus is released for the Game Boy. On the 22nd, Muppet Babies, classic cartoon ends.
What a shame.
Oh, here it is. On November 23rd/24th, Queen frontman Freddie Mercury confirms he has AIDS before dying a day later at 45.
Wow. That escalated quickly.
Yeah, so I guess we didn't mention it previously. I just remembered.
So you thought because you'd prepped it already.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And moving on to the box office, on the 1st, we have Highlander 2, The Quickening. On the 15th, we have Cape Fear, Kafka, or Cape Fear and Kafka. 2 different movies, Andrew. On the 22nd, we have The Addams Family, the live action, and Beauty and the Beast. And then on the 27th, we have Hearts of Darkness, A Filmmaker's Apocalypse, which is the documentary of Apocalypse, or the making of Apocalypse Now, which most people say is better than the actual movie. And on the 27th, My Girl, starring, what's her name? Dan Aykroyd's in it as her dad. The boy that, well, we'll talk about it later. Macaulay Culkin's in it, and then I don't know what's her name. I don't remember.
Wow.
Yeah, we might touch on it later. Billboard charts, November 1991. We have Romantic by Karen White for week number 1 at the top of the charts. For the next 2 weeks, number 1 is Cream by Prince. Then the following week, we have When a Man Loves a Woman by Michael Bolton.
Wow,
and then finally, the last week, we get Set Adrift on Memory Bliss by PM Dawn. No idea.
Yeah.
All right.
The early 90s are so rough, man.
I mean, I know When a Man Loves a Woman.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's true. That's true. That's a common one. Wow. Where do you start with a list like that?
I mean, obviously, we got to start with the AIDS.
Yeah. I suppose that's a good one to go with.
I'm kidding. We're going to talk about in 2 days.
So sorry, just playing a clip of the Denzel Washington speech from Philadelphia, like in that Family Guy episode.
Yeah. Coming up in a future episode. Actually, if you watch Family Guy from this last weekend, Peter goes into a bunch of old cutaways, and he can hear when they sing the "You've Got AIDS" song.
Oh gosh!
And then he's like, "That one didn't age well."
No, it really didn't.
And but yeah, I thought it was a good lark. We should talk about, in 2 days of you listening to this, Peacock, which is apparently still a streaming service, is releasing a Saved by the Bell reboot on Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I made Andrew watch a trailer, and since it's topical and Saved by the Bell did air during the 90s, it's what we should talk about first.
No, actually, I heard about it 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was listening to a podcast where, oh my gosh, Mario Lopez was the guest, and he was talking about the show a bit, and he's really excited about it. And he's kind of like he's a kind of a cool guy, interesting story, background, etc. He looks like he's never aged once in his whole life, which is weird.
I feel like he's aged once when he got rid of the mullet on Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, no, I know. So, I mean, I heard about it, and, I didn't watch the original show all that much. I mean, it was a little bit probably advanced for our age, I think, when it was on.
I watched, it was on reruns for a few years. Yeah. So, yeah.
So I didn't watch a lot of it, but no, it looks really, really horrendous, to be honest. Why is it so bad?
I think this trailer particularly, so the previous trailer kind of focused more on like Mario Lopez and the older characters, which from what I understand is just Mario Lopez and Elizabeth Berkley. But yeah, in this trailer that we watched, they started to introduce the younger cast, which, like, it just
it suffers from the thing that all reboots suffer from. Reboot alert. No, sorry. No, but it suffers from the same thing that every reboot suffers from, which is they have to have the main original actress back, but of course they're never like the main person. I guess maybe a little bit in this one.
Yeah.
And they keep trying to cram the new people down your throat, but they can never like get notable, good new people that ever go on to amount to anything. It's like they can never do it. They're never likable. They're never relatable. No Reboot, in my opinion, has pulled it off. Please convince me otherwise.
Well, you haven't watched Cobra Kai yet, but
okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. There are exceptions to the rule, but in general, what you are saying is correct.
Are there any exceptions I would know? Because I've been racking my brain and I can't think of one.
Doctor Who the second time.
Okay, well, yeah. Somehow, why does that work well?
Because
when there's a series where there's like a flagship actor and that changes out, is that just because that's the standard they've sort of set?
Yeah, I mean the entire premise of the show is that his face changes every 5 to 6 contract negotiations.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's okay then, even though it's like a main person. Yeah. Whereas like when they tried to change out with 24 and do a different guy, it just didn't work because you're like, I've had 7-8 seasons with Jack Bauer, and now you're like, oh, here's this other guy. Yeah, I don't want this other guy.
I mean, it also, I think, like in the traditional case, you're talking about a television reboot spin-off type thing, and it fails because exactly what you said. You like the original core characters, and it doesn't have. Or
they're trying to spin off a show where like the main actor is the show, you know.
Or well, I mean, the spin-offs work as long as there's still hype for the show. Like I'm watching Buffy and Angel right now, and Angel, the superior show, and at the end.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking about like a really like a show with a real strong lead, like House, for example. Like you just couldn't do a reboot of that, or you do a reboot, but I don't think you have to find the right person. It'd be hard. Or like a spinoff would be too hard.
Literally anything on CBS right now. Hawaii Five-0, which I know just ended. Actually, no, that actually went well, and I think went for over 10 seasons.
All right, I'll give you that one.
But the other ones in that similar universe, they redid MacGyver, but with a no-named actor instead of Richard Dean Anderson, and there's like no connection. Doesn't make sense. What else? I think they were doing Magnum PI, which I don't know. Is it canceled? You're the CBS guy.
I'm the CBS guy.
Yeah, you're married with children and watch the CBS shows like the CSIs.
I only watch the original CSI
and the NCISs.
The original NCIS, but overall,
and the Chicago
I think that
Fires.
CBS as a network is garbage. I'm sorry, I'm not a CBS fan.
Neither am I. The last thing I watched on that was How I Met Your Mother. Apparently Young Sheldon has a 4th season.
Oh gosh, that whole franchise. Like, could you play the laugh track more often?
I know.
It's not funny.
But I mean, it's middle America, I guess. But
why does middle America get that? Because they're the dumb ones that are being made light of? I don't know. It's weird.
No. Well, so, I mean, I don't have time to go into my entire tirade about this, but the Big Bang Theory and Community were pitted against each other towards the beginning. Community, one of my favorite shows of all time. Both nerdy comedies or comedies about nerds, but Community, well-written, smart writers that understood the material and transformed it into something excellent and understood just basic story. That's one of the important things, but also like nerds weren't the subject of being made fun of. They were like, it was, if you watch it and you know some stuff about like movies, television, pop culture, whatever, you would get the additional like insights that like watching Family Guy or The Simpsons, like the random references. Whereas the Big Bang Theory is as if they Googled a random scientific term on Wikipedia and then made an entire episode based on a bunch of random lines they picked out of that, and then just relied on a stereotype of the 1950s nerd that is socially awkward, doesn't fit in, doesn't understand how to talk to women, chauvinistic, misogynistic. It's all that comfort food that literally half the country, if you look at the votes, enjoy.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's kind of like when someone uses a thesaurus to sound smart, but all you do is sound dumb because you don't know the nuances of the words, you know?
Exactly.
And the other thing is, what was it on, like 10 years or something?
I think they got to season 12.
Like, it's hard to believe that for 12 seasons, the elevator still wouldn't work. Like, it's against fire code. Like what? After 12 years, no one in a wheelchair has moved in or visited. I think they'll do like, it's cute. It's going to be like the thing when it's like Friends and they redo the set, there's going to be the broken elevator. It's just dumb. I don't like it. Yeah. And then the other thing is, if you listen to it from another room, you can't really hear the dialogue, but you can hear the laugh track, and it seems so excessive. And the jokes aren't good. Like, I don't make good jokes, but they're better than that.
Yeah, it's like I would rather listen to, say, this podcast than watch an episode of The Big Bang Theory.
My one thing, too, is I can't believe the Bare Naked Ladies would have lent their signature sound to that piece of garbage.
Whereas Community, so you when we referenced the Bare Naked Ladies earlier, had a good line about the Bare Naked Ladies in their second season. Yeah, so the study group's getting into a fight, and Joel McHale's character is like, at least they're not, or like, why don't you just have the Bare Naked Ladies write another dumb song, and then the entire study group just like, how dare you? And then they list off, it's like they have 2 music choice awards and like Grammy nominated, and as Jeff's leaving, Britta says something to the extent of, we'll be here caring about Pierce and taking the knife out of the back of the most celebrated Canadian alt-rock band of the 1990s.
I feel like they're underrated. I'm just saying. I think I said that before. Anyway.
They are. But also just the level to which they defended the Bare Naked Ladies was a great show. Absolutely.
That's great.
But yeah, I watched Saved by the Bell a lot as a child, because it was on reruns in the morning a lot. It was Saturday television back in the day. But then it was also on like TNT during, I want to say, high school, middle school.
Yeah.
And during the summer, that early 7 to 9 block before Charmed came on. Or maybe it was TBS.
Charmed's on the air for like 37 years. Good gracious. I'll tell you
they're in season 3 of their reboot, which not great. I got to tell you, back on your reboot alarm thing.
Okay. I'm just going to say this. Hey, reboot people, we don't need one for everything. Okay, thanks.
Let me list you the random 90s TV that the WB used to air that is now been rebooted currently on the CW. Charmed, Roswell. No, that might be it, but still.
They're just like, these things were good back then. Let's just make them again because we suck now.
90210, that was Fox, though, I think. That got rebooted. Dynasty got rebooted with a new edgier thing. Edgy. But I think it was a continuation of the story, like the Knight Rider reboots. But yeah, Saved by the Bell. I quite enjoyed Saved by the Bell.
So, what do you think of the reboot?
Oh, it looks terrible.
Okay, good.
Like we were saying, the child actors or the young kid actors do not look like they have any substance, which I think is the joke, because that was how the original kids were. The
interesting thing was that on this podcast I was listening to with John Roa is the guy with Mario Lopez. Why can I not remember his name? My gosh.
Yeah, he's been on Entertainment Tonight for like forever.
He was like being real cagey about talking about anything related to politics, which is fair. And he's quite, from what I could tell, like Christian religious type person.
Mario Lopez?
Yeah.
Wow.
But the funny thing was, in the show, they were like talking about, the rich white kids, and then they said something about being privileged. And I feel like that kind of reveals a little bit either about him or about the networks who are trying to be really careful about including that stuff these days.
Yeah. Well, so the plot is that Governor Zach Morris had to shut down.
Geez.
Yeah. Had to shut down schools and the lower performing schools in the district, which are in the lower economic neighborhoods. So a public school, a urban public school got incorporated into Bayside High, which is like the preppy school. And I'm assuming Mario Lopez had a teaching job at the original school and is now funneled into Bayside High, where his ex-girlfriend, Jessie, played by Elizabeth Berkley, is the principal.
Well, my thing is, like, is the governor really making that call?
Well, I mean, it's his policies that he put in place that eventually led to that. But
and what about the people that worked at the school? Like, they're just out of work now.
They got
some of them
most likely, but it looks like it got funneled together because
I just don't see how that saves you much money. Like the building, I mean, I guess there's the building and the improvement, whatever. It's just, the premise sounds a little bit fishy to begin with.
Yeah,
but it's
really
Saved by the Bell. So
yeah, and then so. Apparently, Zach's son doesn't have the ability to time out like he used to, but that random African.
Oh yeah, where they like everything stops and they talk to the camera.
Yeah, one of the characters had it, and I think it was the black girl that was in the trailer, but like the kids that I'm pretty sure are Zach's kids, that they're just like blonde airheads. They're like
yeah.
Like none of the characters in the trailer at least seem to have any chemistry with each other.
No, not at all.
Also, I noticed in the background there was a remix of the song that Zach and his friends played.
Remix
Friends Forever or something like that.
Yeah, that was oh boy. I just think like we don't need the type of TV now that we had in the 90s. You just don't need it anymore. It's done.
But it's not the same. I mean, obviously what they're doing is they're appealing to our demographic now and just the people slightly older than us, because that's who have kids. So we'll be drawn in by the nostalgia, and they're hoping the kids will be the ones that will get forced to watch this and enjoy the show.
Isn't it always a little weird when they try to take a show from the 90s and like shoot it in modern times, even if it's a reboot, and it's like sort of high def, and it kind of looks like soap opera-y or a little bit fake in a way because the way it's shot.
Are you talking about the X-Files?
No, kinda. I don't know. It just seems like,
I mean, these actors have aged 20 years.
I just couldn't feel myself being invested in
years.
it. And I feel like there is a stylistic thing with that too, where it's like, it feels sort of not serious. I don't know. It's just,
yeah, I mean, specifically the Saved by the Bell one looks like that because I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it is. Like you can see some of the modern shots, but they're also trying to say, hey, come back and watch more Saved by the Bell with the characters that you loved as a kid, and none of the ones that were there because we lost actresses that didn't want to be on the show anymore.
Right. Oh man.
But also again, like Cobra Kai did it really well, but that's going from a movies franchise to a TV series, to a streaming TV series, which I think is much easier because you're not bogged down in lore and
true,
terrible past episodes.
I guess in my eye, the listeners and viewers get to watch me try to pick stuff out of my eye. That's cool.
Yeah, I noticed the last episode you were just playing with your hands while I was talking.
Yeah, I was. I think it was like a nervous tick. What was that? The overall air around has just been really stressful. So I've been taking methamphetamines, and it's caused me to become self-mutilating. I
figured you were just bored to death by whatever I was talking about.
No, actually, it wasn't that. No, but like literally, I feel like I have something in my eye, so I'm over here like blinking a bunch, probably because like some dust fell out of the ceiling in my nice rented office.
So, I mean, we're a little ways into the episode. Do you want to talk about some random movies, or do you want to take a BuzzFeed quiz?
Will the BuzzFeed quiz be fun for people?
Yes. It's called Build a Sandwich and Find Out Which Saved by the Bell character you are.
All right. It's in the chat.
It's in the chat.
All right.
And if we need to fill time, I mean, My Girl was a great movie. Macaulay Culkin dies from being stung by bees, which was sad.
So, okay, bread. So we are going to choose a bread. What are you going with?
Well, the options are white, whole wheat, rye, pumpernickel, tortilla, gluten-free, and bagel.
Oh, God, I hate a bagel sandwich.
Really? I kind of, I mean, if done right.
Yeah. Certainly it has to be toasted.
I mean, it's better if it's just a bagel and schmear, but...
Schmear. I'm going, you know what? I hate to say it, I'm going white.
So many comments. I'm going to go rye. Although that rye is not appealing.
So choose a veggie: lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, onions, hot peppers, cucumbers, or carrots. So I would have multiple of these. And I don't think I want to be friends with anyone who puts carrots on a sandwich.
That's true. And
other than like a banh mi or something, I feel like those could have carrots on them, and that's okay. But
yeah, and cilantro, unfortunately. But I would like to say, there's no correct way to put a carrot on a sandwich. I've back before I did Rewind, I was actually a long time ago, I was thinking about making a sandwich blog, just tasting different sandwiches at different delis around my town. And every single place I went to, except for one, like they couldn't figure out how to put carrots on a vegetarian sandwich correctly. Like they would do long slices, which were too thick. They would like cut it into coins, which again, too thick because it's a carrot. It's hard to bite through. The only thing that works is shredded carrots like they have in a banh mi.
Yeah, shredded, like a real, like not a thin shred, like a thicker shred.
Yeah.
That kind of, it's like a piece
but that you can like bite through.
Yeah.
And it's not going to like carry with
exactly.
you.
Or like a fine julienne or something
which is
work.
the opposite of a thick shred. But yeah.
But especially if it's like marinated or something. But like, I guess I have to choose the thing that I want on my sandwich. I'm going pickles.
I'm going to go with cucumbers.
Nice.
There you go.
Choose your protein: Spam, roast beef, caviar, tofu, turkey, ham, and chicken. I'm turkey all the way.
I like how it's just cubes of tofu.
That looks horrifying. Caviar? Oh.
I mean,
on a sandwich?
Some of the,
as the primary protein?
Maybe on the pumpernickel? Yeah, that'd be a lot of caviar. I'm also going to go turkey because that sounds good with the cucumbers.
And so condiments: mayo, mustard, ketchup, butter, hot sauce, relish, or no condiments.
Why does that relish look black?
I don't know. Hot sauce, butter. Well, I guess in France they use butter and ham and stuff.
Hot sauce is an additional topping that you can get on a sandwich at a deli.
I'm going mustard. Love me some plain yellow mustard.
Yeah, I don't like plain yellow mustard. And on turkey, any white meat, I really think you need mayo on your sandwich.
Well, I would put mayo on it, but if I had to choose between mayo and mustard, I would actually choose mustard.
I would choose mayo, unless it was a deli style mustard. Choose a cheese: cheddar, mozzarella, American, string cheese, Parmesan, blue cheese, or dairy-free cheese, please. And the picture is a woman backing away from a...
It annoys me that these things aren't on any sandwich.
Cheddar and American.
Well, if someone, like, imagine if you went to a deli and they were like, yeah, we've got a roast smoked turkey with artisan lettuce and a thing of string cheese. Like, what the...
I mean,
that's right. Artisan lettuce.
Blue cheese. I've had blue cheese on a sandwich, but it was like designed after
how about
wedge salad. So
how about like, I don't know, Swiss?
Right.
I'm going cheddar. I'm very boring.
So, I mean, American would be the boring choice. American, I would only eat if it's on a burger. So I'll probably go mozzarella.
Oh, we started getting the deli style American. It's quite a bit better. It's not great, but it's better.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying Kraft singles. I'm saying the boar's head sliced
Nice. Okay.
American.
All right. I like it. Choose a side dish.
Only on or a grilled cheese, because if you put it in between your layers of actual cheese, it helps melt it.
You get like the creaminess and then you get the cheese pull. Yeah, that's good. Side dish: fries, salad, another sandwich.
Is it the sandwich that we're stuck with?
I think so. Soup, fresh fruit, fresh veggies, or I don't need a side. If you're saying that, I'm not your friend anymore.
Well, I guess that ends the Namely 90s podcast.
Yeah, this has been Namely 90s. Okay.
The end.
Let's see. Why does the soup have carrots in it?
I mean, chicken noodle has carrots.
Okay. Well, I see like slices of carrots.
Or no,
on the
chicken
top.
and stars has.
I'm sorry. I love fries as a sandwich. Like, especially if I'm going somewhere to get it. Chips
aren't on there.
I know. I'm just saying. A lot of times you get chips as a sandwich, not fries.
Oh, I think chips is a classic pairing
fries
with a sandwich. Fries is more of a heartier like burger.
Well, I'm a hearty fella.
But I mean, I would also choose the fries. But since you picked it, fresh fruit sounds good because I got cucumbers on my sandwich.
All right. So next one.
Choose a drink. Would you like Coke, Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, no Diet Coke, water, milk, Sprite, or coffee?
Coke. I'm just deciding a regular lunch here.
Choose where you want to eat. A school cafeteria, a playground.
Yes, I want to, as a 30-some-year-old man, to go to a school cafeteria and enjoy my lunch.
Home. No. A hallway, which looks like a school hallway, a park or detention or an office.
Yeah, I just want to make a sandwich, walk into the hallway of my house and just be like, hell yeah, and just eat my sandwich right there. I'm going home.
I would eat this artisanal sandwich in a park.
Artisanal lettuce.
I got the cucumber, so.
Choose who to eat your sandwich with.
Ooh. Zach Morris, Kelly Kapowski, Jesse Spano, Lisa Turtle, AC Slater, Screech Powers, or Principal Belding.
Honestly, looking at them, none.
Really? Well, I mean, they're 20-somethings playing teenagers, so I guess that makes sense.
Boy, I really didn't like this show.
Do you need character bios to make your choice?
No, Zach looks like the person I did actually have something to say something to.
I mean, I feel like you would be eating with Mr. Belding if that's your response to all these people. But
oh, what a surprise! I got Zach Morris. Because I'm a white kid that grew up in the suburbs
with turkey and I'm gonna pick Kelly Kapowski, although I would eat with most of them, and I got Kelly Kapowski.
Well, now I need to know if you just get whoever you chose at the end. First, read what your Zach thing says. You got Zach Morris. You're usually the center of attention, but you can't help it. You occasionally get into trouble, but it's rarely anything too serious. You love to have fun, usually at the expense of your friends and teachers. You don't worry about your grades too much, but they're not terrible. That's a fact right there. I'll tell you what. I got Kelly Kapowski. You got Kelly Kapowski, ! If you have a great personality, style, and you have a great personality, style, and smile. Again, ! Everyone wants to hang out with you, but you're too focused on your work. Keep being you. Wow, that sounds nothing like me at the moment. That was entirely off base, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, I'm focused on editing this podcast. And I guess, schoolwork, but yeah, weird. I mean, I focus on my work, and people that want to hang out with me, I don't because of social anxiety, not because I'm too busy working. Right. Although that's probably the excuse I use. Oh, crap. They probably listen to this. Oh, busted. Social anxiety. So yeah, that was the BuzzFeed quiz.
I feel like we should have talked about Beauty and the Beast. That was a big one. Adam's Family. I also wanted to talk about Thomas the Tank Engine, but we're a bit over, so...
Oh, well.
If you want us to talk about it on a future podcast episode, just let us know by reaching out to us at Namely90s on Twitter with the 90s, or find our personal accounts at bschwitty, at NamelyAndrew, and tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes, like I said. Tell us that you want to hear more about My Girl or Beauty and the Beast. And please don't forget to visit our website, namely90s.com/holiday, to get that Google form and submit your favorite or least favorite holiday episode of 90s TV now through Thursday. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, Time Out, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and wherever you get your podcasts at. I'm Brandon, that's been Andrew or Zach Morris, and we will catch you, Preppy, next time.